Have you ever sat down with a plate of fish, thinking, this is good for me? This is healthy. This is what my doctor would want me to eat, only to later discover that the very fish on your plate might be quietly hurting you. Hurting your brain, your heart, maybe even speeding up how fast you age. It's a scary thought, isn't it? You've done everything right, you chose fish over fried chicken, or fish instead of a heavy steak, because you believed you were making the smart choice. But what if I told you, not all fish are safe for you after 60? In fact, some can do more harm than good. I'm Dr. David Jarrard. For more than 30 years, I've worked with men and women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. And I can tell you this with confidence, not all fish are created equal. Some can heal your body, keeping you strong, sharp, and independent. But others? They slowly chip away at your health without you even realizing it. And this matters, because food at your age isn't just about filling your stomach. It's medicine. Every bite you take is either pushing you toward more freedom and energy, or pulling you closer to pain, weakness, and losing the independence you value so much. That's why today is so important. By the end of this video, you'll know the 4 dangerous fishes you should never touch after 60, and the 4 powerful ones that can actually protect your memory, strengthen your heart, and help you stay independent for longer. But before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. What fish do you eat most often, and why? Share it in the comments. I read as many as I can, and your story might even help someone else. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to Golden 70s Health. This is where we share simple, science-backed tips to help you stay strong, sharp, and thriving after 60. So, let's get started, because what you learn today could change the way you look at your dinner plate forever. Let's begin with dangerous fish number 4, imported catfish. Now, at first glance, catfish looks harmless, doesn't it? It's affordable, it's easy to cook, and many seniors see it as a budget-friendly option when shopping at the market. But here's the hidden truth most people never hear: when that catfish is imported from overseas, especially from certain parts of Asia, it can be one of the most contaminated fish you'll ever put on your plate. Imagine this: huge ponds packed full of fish, so crowded they're practically swimming in their own waste. Disease spreads fast in those conditions, so farmers pump the water full of antibiotics and chemicals just to keep the fish alive. But those chemicals don't just disappear, they stay locked inside the fish's flesh. And when you eat it, they end up inside you. Now here's why this matters so much after 60. Your body doesn't process toxins the way it used to. What you could once shrug off in your 20s or 30s now lingers longer, building up in your system, quietly adding stress to your liver, kidneys, and immune system. Over time, those hidden antibiotics and heavy metals like mercury and lead can weaken your defenses, inflame your joints, and even make real medicines less effective when you truly need them. The biggest misconception: people think fish is fish. They think, if I'm eating seafood, I must be doing something right. But with imported catfish, that couldn't be further from the truth. Instead of nourishing your body, it often fuels inflammation. For someone already living with arthritis, heart disease, or other age-related issues, eating this fish is like pouring gasoline on a fire you're already trying to put out. So what can you do? If you truly enjoy catfish, there's a safer option. Choose catfish that's farm-raised here in the United States. U.S. Standards are far stricter, the waters are cleaner, and the risk of dangerous chemicals is much lower. It may cost a little more, but your health and independence are worth far more than a bargain that backfires. That's why imported catfish earns its spot on the list of fish you should never eat after 60. But don't worry, we're just getting started. Because catfish isn't the only common fish hiding dangers beneath the surface. The next one might surprise you even more. It's one of the most popular fish in American kitchens, yet it carries an invisible risk that builds up slowly in your brain and heart. Now let's move on to dangerous fish number 3, tuna. That tuna sandwich you've been eating for years may not be as safe as it seems. For many families, tuna is a staple. It's easy to grab off the shelf, mix into a quick lunch, or toss on a salad. It feels lean, light, and healthy. But here's the hidden truth. Some types of tuna carry an invisible danger that builds up slowly in your body, and by the time symptoms show, the damage may already be done. You see, tuna is a large fish. And the larger the fish, the more mercury it absorbs over its lifetime. Unlike smaller fish that live fast and die young, tuna live long and sit high on the food chain, eating smaller fish that already contain mercury. Year after year, that mercury builds up in their flesh. And when you eat tuna, it doesn't just pass through you, it stays. It settles into your tissues, especially in your brain and nervous system, where it can quietly cause harm. This is why so many seniors find themselves dealing with brain fog, forgetfulness, mood swings, or even tremors, and they think it's just part of aging. But sometimes, the real culprit is mercury building up from years of eating the wrong fish. And here's the part no one talks about: mercury also stresses your heart. It interferes with the electrical signals that keep your heart beating steadily, raising the risk of irregular rhythms or even heart attacks. Now, many people assume canned tuna is harmless. It's quick, it's cheap, it's everywhere. But the truth is, not all canned tuna is safe. The bigger varieties, like albacore or white tuna, carry far more mercury than most seniors should ever be exposed to. Eating just a couple of servings a week can quietly push your mercury levels beyond the safe limit. So what's the safer choice? If you must have tuna, stick to light canned tuna, the kind that usually comes from smaller skipjack fish. And even then, enjoy it only once in a while, not every day. Think of it as an occasional treat, not a daily habit. Because here's the reality: there are far safer, more nourishing fish options out there that won't load your body with toxins. And as we move forward, you'll see exactly which ones can fuel your memory, energy, and independence instead of stealing them away. But tuna isn't the only hidden danger. There's another popular fish, often served in restaurants and praised for its flavor, that carries an even higher toxic load, and for seniors, it can be especially risky. Now let's talk about dangerous fish number 2, king mackerel. Here's the thing: many seniors order grilled mackerel at a restaurant or pick it up at the store thinking they're making a heart-healthy choice. After all, isn't mackerel supposed to be full of omega-3s and good fats? And yes, some mackerel is exactly that, but not all mackerel is created equal. King mackerel, in particular, is a whole different story. Unlike smaller types of mackerel, king mackerel lives a long life, grows big, and sits high on the food chain. And the longer a fish lives, the more toxins it absorbs. That's why king mackerel has some of the highest mercury levels of any fish you'll commonly find on your plate. For someone over 60, that's a serious concern. Mercury is a heavy metal that directly attacks your brain and nervous system. It doesn't just make you a little foggy, it can speed up memory loss, cause tremors in your hands, and even trigger mood changes that people often mistake for normal aging. On top of that, mercury puts added stress on your heart. It disrupts the natural rhythm, increases oxidative stress inside your blood vessels, and raises your risk of arrhythmias or even a stroke. Here's the problem: most people don't know there are different kinds of mackerel. They see mackerel on the label, or on the menu, and assume it's all the same. But that mistake can cost you your health. Atlantic mackerel and Spanish mackerel are much safer choices. They're smaller fish with lower mercury levels, and they still give you those healthy omega-3s your body needs. But king mackerel? That's the one to avoid completely. So here's the advice: when you're buying mackerel, always check the label or ask where it came from. If it's king mackerel, leave it behind. Your brain, your heart, and your independence are far too valuable to risk on a fish that looks healthy but hides such a toxic load. And if you thought king mackerel was shocking, wait until you hear about the number 1 dangerous fish on this list. It's one of the most popular, cheapest fish in America, marketed as a clean, lean protein. But the truth? It might be doing more damage to your body than red meat or even bacon. And now, dangerous fish number 1, farmed tilapia. You see it everywhere. In grocery stores, on restaurant menus, even in diet plans. Tilapia is cheap, easy to find, and it's marketed as a clean, lean protein. Many people think, I'm doing the right thing. I'm skipping the heavy red meat, I'm choosing fish instead. But here's the shocking truth. Farmed tilapia can actually be worse for your body than bacon or red meat. Why? It all starts with the way this fish is raised. In most fish farms, tilapia are crowded into ponds or cages so tightly that they spend their lives swimming in dirty water filled with their own waste. To keep them alive, farmers load the water with antibiotics, pesticides, and other chemicals. And those chemicals don't just vanish, they sink into the fish's flesh. When you eat that fish, you're taking in those residues, too. But the real problem goes deeper than chemicals. Farmed tilapia are fed unnatural diets, cheap corn, soy, and even animal byproducts, just to fatten them up quickly. This changes the very makeup of the fish. Instead of being rich in heart-healing omega-3s, tilapia end up with an extremely imbalanced fatty acid profile, sky-high in omega-6 and dangerously low in omega-3. Now, your body does need omega-6, but too much of it without enough omega-3 is like pouring gasoline on a fire. It drives inflammation through the roof. And for someone over 60, that's the last thing you need. Chronic inflammation is the hidden spark behind arthritis flare-ups, joint pain, heart disease, diabetes, and even memory decline. Imagine thinking you're helping your health with a tilapia fillet, when in reality, it's quietly making every one of those conditions worse. And it doesn't stop there. Tests on farmed tilapia have found traces of dioxins, dangerous industrial chemicals that settle in fat tissue and stay in your body for years. Dioxins are linked to cancer, immune suppression, and hormone disruption. That's not nutrition, that's a toxic burden. Here's the bottom line, farmed tilapia looks harmless, but it's often nothing more than nutritional junk food in disguise. It fills your stomach, but it doesn't nourish your body. For seniors fighting to stay strong, independent, and pain-free, farmed tilapia is a trap best avoided. So my advice? Cross it off your list completely. With so many healthier, safer fish available, there's no reason to gamble your health on tilapia. And now that we've uncovered the 4 dangerous fish you should never eat after 60, let's flip the story. Because not all fish are harmful. In fact, some are among the most powerful healing foods you can add to your diet. These are the ones that can protect your heart, fuel your memory, and keep your joints strong. Let's dive into the 4 fish you must eat for better senior health. Now that we've uncovered the dangers, let's shift to the good news, the fish that can actually help you stay sharp, strong, and independent. And we'll start with healthy fish number 4, wild Pacific cod. At first glance, cod doesn't look glamorous. It doesn't have the bold orange color of salmon, or the oily richness of sardines. It's a plain white fish, mild in flavor, often overlooked in favor of flashier options. But don't let appearances fool you, cod is a quiet hero, especially for people over 60. Here's why. A single serving of wild Pacific cod gives you an impressive amount of high-quality protein, the kind your body can easily use to build and maintain muscle. And it does this while staying low in fat and low in calories. That balance is priceless, because after 60, muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, creeps in quietly. Without enough lean protein, muscles weaken, balance falters, and independence slowly slips away. Cod helps stop that decline. But protein isn't the only thing cod brings to the table. It's also one of the richest natural sources of selenium, a trace mineral that acts like a tiny shield inside your body. Selenium supports your immune system, protects your thyroid, and helps fight oxidative stress, the hidden rust that wears down your cells as you age. Studies have shown that seniors with higher selenium levels often enjoy stronger memory, steadier moods, and lower risks of age-related disease. Think of selenium as your body's silent bodyguard. And cod delivers it in abundance. On top of that, it also provides phosphorus for strong bones and vitamin B12, which keeps your nerves firing properly and your energy levels steady. And here's something many people overlook: cod is naturally low in contaminants. Because it lives a shorter life in cold, clean northern waters, it doesn't accumulate the mercury and toxins you find in bigger, longer-living fish. That means you can enjoy it regularly without worrying about toxic buildup. The best way to prepare cod is to keep it simple. Bake it or steam it gently, drizzle it with olive oil, maybe add a squeeze of lemon. Cooking it this way protects its delicate proteins and preserves that all-important selenium. Frying it at high heat, on the other hand, can strip away much of the goodness. So, while cod may not shout for attention, it quietly supports your muscles, your brain, and your immune system, all in a clean, safe, and senior-friendly package. It truly is one of the hidden treasures of the sea. But cod is just the beginning. The next fish on our list is tiny, often packed in little cans, and yet it's one of the most powerful superfoods you can add to your diet after 60. Let's talk about sardines. Healthy fish number 3, sardines. Tiny fish in a can, but don't underestimate them. At first glance, sardines don't look like much. They're small, packed tightly into tins, and often brushed aside in favor of fancier seafood like salmon or tuna. Some even call them a poor man's fish. But here's the truth: sardines are one of the most powerful, nutrient-dense superfoods you could possibly add to your diet, especially after 60. Let's start with their biggest strength: omega-3 fatty acids. Sardines are absolutely loaded with them, delivering more per serving than nearly any other fish. And these aren't just any fats, they're the kind that protect your brain, soothe inflammation, and keep your heart beating strong. For seniors, this is gold. Chronic inflammation is one of the biggest enemies of aging. It hides behind arthritis pain, clogged arteries, and even memory decline. Every bite of sardines works like a firefighter inside your body, cooling that invisible fire and protecting your joints, your circulation, and your mind. But that's not all. Sardines also provide one of the rarest nutrients many seniors are missing: vitamin D. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into vitamin D, and before you know it, your levels drop. Low vitamin D means weaker bones, higher risk of falls, slower healing, and even mood problems like depression. Just one can of sardines gives you almost half of what you need for the day. And here's something special: you don't just get vitamin D, you also get calcium and phosphorus, straight from the sardine's soft, edible bones. That means every bite is giving you the full package for bone strength. Think of it as nature's multivitamin for your skeleton, protecting you against fractures and keeping you steady on your feet. Many people skip sardines because they assume they're cheap and low quality. But in reality, they're one of the cleanest fish you can eat. Why? Because sardines sit at the very bottom of the food chain. They eat plankton, not other fish, which means they don't accumulate mercury or heavy metals the way larger fish do. That makes them one of the safest, most trustworthy options for regular meals. And they're practical too. Sardines are affordable, shelf-stable, and versatile. You can eat them straight from the can, mix them into a salad, mash them onto whole grain toast with a little avocado, or toss them into pasta with olive oil and herbs. They're simple, nutrient-packed, and easy on the budget. So, while sardines may not look glamorous, they punch far above their weight. They fight inflammation, protect your bones, fuel your brain, and keep your heart strong. Not many foods can do all that at once. And if sardines are the tiny but mighty champion, wait until you hear about the next fish. It's bigger, it's richer, and it's often called the king of superfoods for seniors: the famous wild Alaskan salmon. Healthy fish number 2, wild Alaskan salmon. If there's one fish doctors and nutritionists across the world can agree on, it's salmon. But here's the catch: not all salmon is the same. The true superstar, the one that deserves a permanent spot on your plate after 60, is wild Alaskan salmon. Why is it so special? Let's start with what salmon is most famous for, omega-3 fatty acids. These are the healthy fats your brain and heart absolutely thrive on. They reduce inflammation, keep your arteries flexible, support circulation, and even improve mood. For seniors, omega-3s can mean sharper memory, steadier energy, and fewer aches in the joints. They're like oil for the engine of your body, keeping everything running smoothly as the years go by. But salmon doesn't stop there. Its beautiful pink-orange color isn't just pretty, it comes from a rare antioxidant called astaxanthin. Think of astaxanthin as anti-aging armor for your cells. It protects against oxidative stress, the invisible rust that slowly wears your body down with age. Studies have linked it to better skin elasticity, sharper vision, stronger endurance, and even protection against heart disease. Every bite of wild salmon is like sending in tiny bodyguards to defend your health. And let's not forget about protein. As you age, your body becomes less efficient at using the protein you eat. That's one reason why seniors often lose muscle mass even when they think they're eating enough. Salmon provides a premium, highly absorbable protein that your body can actually use to rebuild and maintain muscle. That means stronger legs for walking, steadier balance to prevent falls, and more independence for the years ahead. Now, here's where you need to be careful. Not all salmon is created equal. Farmed salmon may look the same in the store, but it tells a very different story. Farm-raised salmon are often fed artificial diets, pumped with chemicals, and packed into crowded pens. The result? Fish with lower omega-3s, higher unhealthy fats, and sometimes even contaminated flesh. It looks like salmon, but it doesn't carry the same healing power. That's why I always recommend wild Alaskan salmon. Caught from clean, cold northern waters, it's not only healthier, but also safer. It's the kind of salmon that delivers everything your body needs, omega-3s, astaxanthin, premium protein, without the baggage of pollutants or artificial feed. So if you're going to invest in one fish, make it wild Alaskan salmon. It may cost more, but think of it as investing in your health, your memory, your heart, and your independence. Because at this stage of life, every meal is an opportunity, to decline, or to thrive. And if salmon is the king of nutrient-rich fish, the final one on our list may surprise you. It doesn't always get the same attention, but it's packed with the kind of clean protein and essential nutrients that can keep your body strong and your mind sharp. Let's talk about trout. And finally, healthy fish number 1, trout, sometimes called sardines' big brother. Now, trout doesn't always get the spotlight. It isn't splashed across magazine covers like salmon, and it doesn't have the bold reputation of tuna. In fact, many seniors walk right past it at the market without giving it a second thought. But here's the truth, trout is one of the most balanced, nourishing fish you can put on your plate after 60. Why? Because it brings together exactly what your body needs most at this stage of life, omega-3s, vitamin B12, and clean, gentle protein. Let's start with the omega-3s. Just like sardines and salmon, trout delivers a strong dose of these heart-protecting, brain-fueling fats. They keep your memory sharper, your circulation smoother, and your joints calmer. Every serving is like turning down the volume on inflammation that would otherwise drain your energy and age your body faster. Then comes vitamin B12. This is a nutrient that slips quietly out of reach as you age, because your stomach becomes less efficient at absorbing it. Low B12 can leave you feeling tired, weak, or even foggy-headed. Some seniors even mistake those symptoms for dementia, when the problem is really just a lack of this vital vitamin. Trout is rich in natural, highly absorbable B12, giving your nerves, blood cells, and energy levels the boost they need to keep you moving and thinking clearly. And let's not forget the protein. Trout provides a clean, high-quality protein that's easy on your digestion. Some fish can feel heavy, greasy, or upsetting to sensitive stomachs, but trout tends to be light, flaky, and gentle, perfect for seniors who want nourishment without discomfort. With every bite, you're feeding your muscles the raw material they need to stay strong and protect your independence. The best way to enjoy trout. Keep it simple. Grill it lightly, steam it, or bake it gently. A touch of olive oil, a squeeze of lemon, maybe a sprinkle of herbs. That's all you need. Cooking it this way preserves its delicate nutrients and makes it easy for your body to absorb every bit of goodness. So, while trout may not get the same attention as salmon or sardines, it deserves a permanent spot on your table. It's balanced, it's clean, it's nourishing, and it's one of the best allies you have for staying strong, steady, and sharp after 60. So now you know. The 4 fish you must avoid, and the 4 you should embrace. But here's the real question: what difference can these choices actually make in your life? I know it's not easy hearing that the foods you trusted might have been harming you. For years, maybe decades, you believed you were making the healthy choice by picking fish instead of heavier meats. You thought you were protecting your heart, nourishing your body, and doing the right thing. And to discover that some of those very choices could have been quietly working against you, that can feel frustrating, even unfair. But here's the truth you need to hold on to: every single meal is a chance. Every plate you put in front of you is either pulling you closer to strength and independence, or pushing you toward weakness and decline. And the power to decide which way it goes, that power rests in your hands. Instead of fearing what's on your plate, imagine the peace of knowing that the foods you choose are healing your body from the inside out. Picture yourself adding fish that calm inflammation instead of fueling it. Picture meals that protect your heart, sharpen your memory, and keep you active, steady, and strong, not just today, but well into your 70s, your 80s, and beyond. This isn't about perfection. It's about small, deliberate shifts. Replacing tilapia with salmon. Choosing sardines instead of tuna. Saying yes to cod or trout instead of settling for contaminated imports. On their own, these might seem like small changes. But when you stack them together, day after day, year after year, they become the building blocks of stronger muscles, clearer thinking, steadier balance, and more independence. And here's the part one want you to hear clearly: your best years are not behind you. They don't have to be. With the right choices, with foods that actually support your body instead of tearing it down, your best years could still be ahead of you. Imagine walking without pain, remembering names and stories clearly, enjoying meals with confidence, and living each day with energy. That's the gift of choosing wisely. So don't think of this as losing something. Think of it as gaining the power to write a new story for your health. Because every time you sit down to eat, you're not just feeding your body, you're shaping your future. Let's take a moment to recap what we've covered today. The 4 dangerous fishes, the ones you should keep off your plate, are imported catfish, tuna, king mackerel, and farmed tilapia. These are the choices that may look harmless, even healthy, but they quietly add stress, toxins, and inflammation to your body. And then there are the 4 powerful fishes, the ones you should welcome onto your table: cod, sardines, salmon, and trout. These are the quiet protectors. The ones that strengthen your heart, sharpen your memory, calm inflammation, and give you the protein and nutrients you need to stay steady, strong, and independent. But now, I want to hear from you. Which of these fish do you already eat, and which one surprised you the most today? Do you think there are other fish that seniors should avoid, ones that didn't make this list? Share your thoughts down in the comments. You never know, your story might be the one that helps someone else make a better choice for their health. And if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing to Golden 70s Health. This is where we share weekly, science-backed tips designed to help you stay strong, independent, and thriving after 60. Subscribing is free, and it's the best way to make sure you don't miss out on the advice that could make your next years your best years. So thank you for watching, and for being part of this community. Stay strong, stay informed, and remember: your choices today shape your independence tomorrow. I'll see you in the next video.